and today I'm answering for you some of the most frequently asked questions that I get about starting or growing your creative business. I've been working with clients for a few years now, and I hear some of the same challenges come up over and over again, and I love helping you guys overcome these challenges. So today I want to address some of those questions that I hear so often. A couple of these questions, the first ones here were submitted on Instagram. If you aren't already, follow me on Instagram at delightfulthingsco. Find me there and connect. I'd love to hear more about what you're working on or what your creative businesses are. So this first question is from Stephanie S. in Virginia. Not me, I swear. Different Stephanie. But Stephanie S. asks, how can I find the right new clients? I love this question because I think the key here is finding the right new clients. It's really easy when you're getting started to kind of take on any projects that you possibly can and take on any clients that are offering work for you. But what happens over time is that if you're not working with your ideal clients, you're gonna keep getting that same kind of project over and over again. So what I really like to do is to help clients define their ideal client and then use that information to think about what that audience is. Really narrowing down on your audience and your ideal client is going to help you focus your business on the things that you really love doing. If you're not working on ideal projects, then you're gonna just keep getting those same kinds of projects. But if you kind of identify these categories, then you can specifically plan and market towards these clients, and then you're gonna start getting those projects that are really truer to your creative vision. And that's really gonna help you grow in the direction that you want to be growing in. So to market towards these audiences, you have to start finding out where are they spending their time, what is most important to them, and how can you communicate with them in the best way for them. Here are a few completely free ways to build your audience. I would suggest networking. Networking either online or in person. Local networking groups are a great place to start. There are lots of business networking groups out there, paid and free. So I'd recommend that you look into that. And then also, obviously on social media, Facebook groups are a great place to start with finding your ideal audience. A lot of times we get stuck in Facebook groups that are our peers or similar work. As a graphic designer, I've been in a lot of graphic design Facebook groups, but those aren't necessarily my clients. My clients are in other creative business groups because that's who I'm speaking to. But maybe you can find an audience on Facebook and a group that is more true to your ideal client and vision. The third way to get your ideal client is by word of mouth. Some of the best business advice that I've gotten through the years is that if you do good work for good people, good things will happen. So essentially, if you keep doing these good pieces of work for clients that you enjoy working with and that are treating you in the best way possible, then you're going to keep getting more of that great work. Those clients will recommend you to their friends and family. It'll just keep growing from there. They would all probably provide reviews if they enjoyed working with you, and those reviews can also help with word of mouth because it's going to create some buyer confidence when you are communicating with those clients. And if they're looking at your website, they can see that other clients have been really happy with you and your work. So I would recommend that doing some good work for good people, getting those great reviews, that is another great free way to start building your client base. So next up, I have a question from Jenny W. in Virginia, and she asks, how do you name or rename a business? And this is such a good question, but it is such a big question. So I would first suggest that know that it takes time. It really takes time to go through the process and explore all the possibilities. And it's not a process that you can really rush because as your name, you're going to be living with that name for quite some time, probably years if I had to guess. And it's a lot of trouble to completely change your name from a business like paperwork kind of standpoint, but also from a client standpoint, unless you're really changing focus, which I actually did about a year ago. I rebranded and renamed my business. And So it can be valuable to change a name, but it is a lot of work to kind of go through each time that you want to do this. So naming a business from the ground up, giving it time, so that you can really think through the process and really land with something that you are 100% behind. It is not a great feeling to not be confident when you're handing over a business card or when you're speaking to somebody on the phone. There are all kinds of things that go into naming, all kinds of considerations. So my first recommendation would be that please, it just takes time, and give time to that process. And then also to just keep an open mind. There are literally infinite possibilities when it comes to naming, and we're really saturated in like a small business market, I think. And so there are lots of really creative names out there, but you have to go beyond what's already been decided on and what other people are already using. So a lot of times now, like single words or common phrases, things like that, all those names are basically taken. So you have to go generating ideas and really honing in on what the best possible fit for you would be. So if you put work into that design process, I think that the right words will show themselves when it's time. I think that when you're walking through the world one day, you're going to hear a word, or you're going to hear a phrase or something, or you might use a phrase that you don't even realize all the time. There's a word in your universe somewhere that is going to be the perfect fit for you. So keep in mind, keep your ears open, always be thinking about ideas, essentially. It's really easy to get stuck on, well, it needs to sound like this, or it needs to have my name or something like that, but really let go of the rules in the early stages of the naming process, because if you can keep an open mind, then I believe that something would find you, really. I love helping projects. I think it's really interesting, and what tends to happen is there's this moment, and once we gather lots of these ideas, but in naming it can be really special, because like I said, your name lasts with you for a really long time. So then another couple questions that I had, these are questions about boosting your business. So if you have an existing creative business, maybe you've a couple years, your sales and client base. These are a couple questions that I hear all the time from clients that already have creative businesses. First up, how can I help my art or design business grow? I believe that creating an organized and strategic plan can really help you be set up for success. So basically, starting with identifying achievable goals, breaking things down to move forward, but because if you just push, you're going to get a little bit burnout, and then something that you loved, that you wanted to create a business out of, it starts to feel like not so fun, and it starts to feel like work. And that was kind of maybe why you tried to monetize your creative passion. So I really like to manageable do, and that passion is going to fuel your business for success in the future. So when I am focusing on these strategies for growing the business and kind of those manageable steps, I'm really looking at 4 categories in building a creative business. I look at strategy and kind of the idea, the product offerings behind your business, branding, visual branding, as well as voice and tone writing, on presence. And that includes your web presence, maybe e-commerce on Shopify, or something like your social media presence. Most creative businesses these days have something like an Pinterest account or an Instagram account. And so you kind of have to have a visual branding sense there as well. And then my fourth category that I focus on with clients is building creative skills. And this can a lot of different directions. What I'm finding a lot of is learning their own social media graphics, and I love working on these creative skills with you. You might be really familiar with a certain media or a certain type of art making, but a lot of people are trying to manage their own creative businesses these days. You might not feel as comfortable with some of those digital platforms, and that's where I love to step in and help you. I love helping people learn these systems like Canva or Google Docs, whatever it is that can help you create custom tools that will work for you. The other set of creative skills that I like to address, I've had a lot of clients lately asking me about ideas with color theory or perspective drawing and other drawing techniques. I really love working with all of these avenues of creative skills, hands-on or digital. I love jumping in and helping you. And if you're looking for those logical steps that you could use to build your creative business or grow your existing.co, and you'll be able to grab my free guide, and you can download that for all those steps and the 4 categories that I would be addressing with you. Next question that I get a lot of from graphic designers sorry, my puppy is visiting me here. I get a question a lot of times, which is, I can't afford a graphic designer of my own, but I need to create professional looking graphics and a professional looking website. So how do I create that if I don't have the funds yet to invest in a professional graphic designer? So again, I love to help clients build these digital skills. I screen share a lot of times with clients, and I can either demonstrate skills or I can direct you to whatever it is that you might be working with, or we can troubleshoot some programs and things like that. And then I also love helping you with those e-commerce platforms. Typically work mostly in Shopify or WordPress and Squarespace as well. But all of these platforms are wonderful to use, and there's a lot of custom features that you might not be aware of. So I love working with clients to help them build their own websites and build their own social media graphics. If that is interesting to you, again, head on to creativebusinesscoaching.co, and you can grab that free guide, and you can sign up for my next free webinar where I'm going to go through each step of that process that I like to work with clients. So some of my favorite apps and software right now that I do work with clients on quite a bit, I've been working with Canva quite a bit, but I've also heard lots of Adobe Creative Cloud questions. And you might be wondering about Creative Cloud, and it might feel like it's too much, or it's too big, or too professional, or too complicated. It is really not. There are so many easy tips and tricks that you could do in some of these programs that maybe you just haven't opened yet. So if you're a creative maker and you have a or you're I can help you unlock some secrets of all those other programs, and some little tips and tricks along the way that I use to help just make my graphic design flow easier for my own business. So this next section of questions, these are questions that I receive a lot from business owners that are just starting out. So artists or designers that are just looking to start or and grow their creative business business from scratch. So the first question that I get, obviously, is how in the world do I start my creative business? There are tons of checklist items to go through, and I like to break this process down into manageable steps and help you grow from that little seed of a company into a flourishing, functioning brand. If you are interested in that process, download that free guide and join me at the next free webinar so that you can understand all those different steps that we could go through, and I will cover all those different categories for you. The other question that I get a lot of from brand new businesses is, how do I brand my business to stand out from the crowds? So this is my specialty, and this is one of my favorite parts of the process for me. I love getting to know artists and designers like you and learning about the work and your unique creative voice that you're bringing to the table. I really believe that every creative person out there has something different to offer, and so I really love working with you and helping you define what that voice looks like and feels like, whether it is visual branding or what you're writing as far as captions and things like that, the voice of your company. I really like defining that very unique voice that you to the table. I believe that eye-catching brands they're built on a deep understanding of your clients and your audience, and I can help you develop that visual brand to highlight the exclusive value that you bring to the table. So this brings me to my special offer for you today. I would love to offer you a free month of business launch or a free half month of business boost. So you guys that are just taking your art and design skills and trying to monetize, trying to get online and make some sales, this is the program for you. So check out that launch program. You can get a free month of coaching. That's $50 off per month, which totals a total of one free month of coaching. You can get that deal if you use the offer code CreativeBiz2020. It is up there in the corner for you to copy into the code on the website, creativebusinesscoaching.co. And the other program that I offer is the Creative Business Boost program. This resistance, and you might just want that little boost to get things going. Maybe you've plateaued a little bit and you just want to start seeing the numbers tick up a little bit. You want to see more hits on your website. You want to see more engagement on your social media. Whatever it is, we can start doing that with this Creative Business Boost program. Both programs follow that design process that's outlined in the free guide, and both will address those. Both will work one-on-one on website creativecoaching.co, and I might just have something else for you then. I'll walk you through those exclusive steps boosting and launching your creative business. And please subscribe to me on YouTube if you want some more free coaching. You can also follow me on Instagram for my latest stories and creative process. And I would love to see you here next week. Please let me know if there's anything I can help you with your creative business. Leave a comment or a question on any of those platforms, Instagram, YouTube. I will get back to you, and I would love to help see your business grow. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.